Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. The right of churches to decide for themselves who can attend Holy Communion is being challenged by the Charity Commission. The Commission has refused to grant charitable status to a Plymouth Brethren group in Devon because its communion services are for members only. A spokeswoman from the Commission said, "The application was not accepted on the basis that we were unable to conclude that the organisation is established for the advancement of religion for public benefit within the relevant law." Elders from the Brethren Church attended a parliamentary select committee last week, and during the meeting a letter from the Commission's head of legal services emerged, which claimed that churches cannot be assumed to be acting for the public good. But an MP accused the Commission of being anti-Christian. The Christian Institute is providing legal support in the case in a bid to protect religious liberty for all churches. England's last remaining Roman Catholic adoption agency has lost its latest legal battle to be able to place children with heterosexual couples only. A High Court judge has ruled that the agency Catholic Care could not be made exempt from following equality laws. Mr Justice Sale said Christian views have a legitimate place in a tolerant and broad-minded society, but there was not enough evidence to prove that the agency would have to shut down. Catholic Care said without exemption from the law, they would be forced to close because the law is in conflict with their charity's aims. In a statement, they said, "It is Catholic Care's view that this will reduce the number of adoptive parents available, and the number of children left waiting for adoptive parents will continue to increase." The charity is now considering whether to take the appeal further. Dorset Police are to investigate their response after they were alerted to a threatening text from a man who later murdered a vicar and a retired teacher. Stephen Farrow murdered Reverend John Suddards and Betty Yates and has been sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison. It has emerged that police were told about a text from Farrow that warned the church will be the first to suffer. Michaela Rousel, a friend of Farrow's, had received the threatening message from him on New Year's Eve last year. She reported it to Dorset Police and an officer responded. The force now says this matter will be reviewed internally to ensure that senior officers are satisfied that appropriate action was taken. First Minister Alex Salmond has criticised Stonewall for naming Scotland's top Roman Catholic as its Bigot of the Year, but stopped short of cutting government funding. Cardinal Keith O'Brien, a vocal supporter of traditional marriage, was given the disparaging title at an awards ceremony last week. Mr Salmond said, "Stonewall were clearly wrong to describe Scotland's cardinal in these terms. Personal insults are not conducive to a proper and dignified debate on the important issue of equality in Scotland." Despite the criticism, Stonewall Scotland will continue to receive £300,000 of taxpayers' money over the next 3 years. But two leading banks, Coutts and Barclays, have threatened to end their sponsorship of the awards event unless the Bigot Prize is dropped in future years. A Muslim man who wanted his 3 children to be brought up in his Islamic faith instead of their mother's Christian beliefs has failed in his court bid. Announcing his decision at Dunfermline Sheriff Court, Ian Dunbar warned that forcing the children to grow up as Muslims could have caused them distress as they attend a school which celebrates Christmas and Easter, adding, "In this case the children are living in a Christian household with a Christian mother. The day-to-day circumstances of the children should dictate what is in their best interests. The children will continue to be raised with their Scottish mother, but can be taught about Islam when visiting their father." Bishop Justin Welby has been appointed as the 105th Archbishop of Canterbury. He will take up his new position following the retirement of Dr Rowan Williams, who has held the post for the past 10 years. Bishop Welby is regarded as being on the evangelical wing of the church. He holds traditional views on marriage and is thought to be opposed to the government's plans to redefine it. He worked in the oil industry for 11 years before training to become an Anglican minister. He currently holds one of the most senior positions in the Church of England as Bishop of Durham. He and his wife Caroline had 6 children, but one of his daughters, Johanna, died in a car crash aged 7 months old. Speaking last year about the aftermath of the crash, Bishop Welby said, "It was a very dark time for my wife Caroline and myself, but in a strange way it actually brought us closer to God." And finally, a former church minister and army chaplain has just celebrated his 110th birthday. Reverend Reginald Dean is Britain's oldest man, and he was asked how it felt to reach 110.
I feel a year older than when I was 109, which is a very long year.
I'm very proud of him, and he's a good man, and we've had some nice times, and it's just nice to be here for him on his 110th and to help celebrate it with him.
And the choir Reginald sang with when it was first formed helped make the occasion very special.
Happy birthday, dear Reginald. Happy birthday to you.
Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.